I would, if I was living in Montauk, I would literally be living near that lighthouse and just tuning into this like it's some weird, it's the spirit of it, the spirit of queer culture.
The spirit of queer culture, don't you know?
Elvis has entered the building.
Has entered the chat. Ifi has entered the chat.
Greetings, humans.
Is that the crow?
I am the crow.
That's awesome. I literally thought about the crow today at work, and I was just like, what if my whole internet career is I'm just the crow? I'm literally just, not that I'm Brandon Lee, I'm like the crow comic book adoption, James O'Barr tier, and just like getting revenge on everyone by just like telling the truth and going around and saying the N-word or something.
Suddenly there came a tapping, as if someone gently rapping on my chamber door.
But I do think everybody has became the crow to take a point of view that, because the way I am and what I believe is just my heart being broken or something. And so I basically painted my face white and black, and I have like supernatural. I can do whatever I want. I represent that through blogging sphere. So I understand the crow mentality.
Near,
Nice.
far, wherever you are. What's that song on Titanic? You know what I'm talking about. My heart must go on. You know what I mean. What's up? So I'm going to cover a little bit of this Mission Impossible because I put a time limit on myself on purpose because I have 50 pages of notes. But have you guys ever seen Mission Impossible or anything? Or
this dude's taking notes.
Yes, I've watched it.
Well, actually, I cheated. I had ChatGPT write my notes for me, so.
Ew.
But I think it did a good
job. Jumbo.
Gross.
But it's okay. Like I did on purpose as an experimental thing because I wanted to see if ChatGPT would actually pick up on the themes that I saw, and I think it did. So this will be a meta experiment to see how accurate ChatGPT is. So if you guys have ever seen Mission Impossible, it's like, Tom Cruise, Ethan Hunt, which I think is some sort of weird, I think the name Ethan Hunt alone is like some sort of weird call out or something. But
like hint.
Yeah. So I think you can go through all the movies and make this case, but I'm just going to use the latest one, which is Dead Reckoning, Part 1, because there's going to be a Part 2. But basically, they have
I haven't seen that. I thought you meant like the older ones, where Tom Cruise.
Oh yeah, you got to see the new one. The new one's pretty crazy.
But I look forward to your review of it.
Yeah, so this I don't think there'll be too many spoilers per se because it actually ends like halfway through the what.
I don't fucking care about that movie. Spoil
Come on. All right, let's do it. All right, so Ethan Hunt.
I only saw like the first two.
Oh yeah, you got to see the latest one. It's really good actually. Actually, the last 2 or 3 were pretty good. But the entity. So there's an entity, a sentient AI capable of infiltrating and controlling global systems. The story begins on a Russian submarine. The entity deceives the crew electronically and gets it to blow itself up. Essentially, the AI has become rogue and basically starts like infiltrating everything, like in banks, and starts like getting people to do things for it. Essentially, it's very like Neuromancer adjacent, I would say. And so Ethan and
you would have to mention Gibson, wouldn't you?
Of course, you know me. I got to. Alex Jones is coming up. Don't worry. So they get So they basically get one part of the key. So there's like so they need a physical key, a 2-part key, in order to unlock this thing. But they don't even know where it is or what it is or whatever. So.
Oh, I did see part of this. I remember watching they're going after that key or whatever.
So this is crucial. So now they go to Abu Dhabi, Rome, Venice. And then Ethan uncovers the involvement of Gabriel, a ruthless operative with ties to Ethan's past and a liaison for the entity. So this operative is representing the AI, the AI's wishes, essentially.
Is it like an angel of it or some shit or what?
Well, I think so. And then Gabriel orchestrates devastating events, including the death of Elsa Faust. And let's see, they get to the Orient Express, and the girl's like pretending to be a drug dealer or arms dealer, and then a thief.
One moment. That train doesn't run anymore.
Well, that's the name of this train for whatever reason, which is kind of weird. So
What? Oh
yeah.
my god! Ah, kill me now. So it's not the train from Istanbul to Baghdad.
I think so. It's something like that. It's like
train runs anymore because it's like $20,000 a ticket or something.
yeah. So it's really weird. Like I don't even know what that is, but I'll have to look into it later. So I'm glad you can fill me in.
It's a coach train. It was the first coach train from Europe to Asia.
Oh, okay. Well, this is a very
the Orient Express because it was a way for the upper middle class European to go to experience Asia without having to get on a ship.
right. So I think it is a very east to west. Yeah, sure. I'm waiting for my. Oh, hold on one second. I'm on the phone.
What, yeah, like Starbucks or something?
But yeah, anyway, I'm pretty sure that's a train from Istanbul to Baghdad.
Yeah, and so I think it is like an east to west reference.
It even started like in Paris or something. Like they had to stop. I heard about it because my mother used to read Hercule Poirot by Agatha Christie. That's how I found out about the Orient Express.
Yeah, sorry, I'm waiting for my food, so somebody talk to me. But yeah, so I'm waiting for my dinner basically. So I'm gonna pick it up and take it out. So yeah, essentially, yeah, I think it is like an east to west reference. But then yeah, I think there's like, I'm glad you fill in the details because I don't know about that. But basically, the Gabriel guy like sabotages the train and it starts derailing, and it's like a big action sequence essentially. But I think there's a lot of symbolism in it, but that's not important right now. But so we're talking about Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning for Unseen who just joined. So I'm gonna. So let me see. Sorry, I've lost my note. So, anyways, it just says the film blends espionage, betrayal, action, personal stakes, and so then I asked it a question about stuff, and I said, "What are the occult references that you can make from this movie?" And it says, number one, the entity as an omnipotent force. The entity is a godlike figure with omnipresent control over digital systems, symbolizing the occult idea of a hidden, all-seeing force, its ability to manipulate reality, hidden truths, stuff like that. The two-part key, the central MacGuffin, the cruciform two-part key is an archetypal. Thank you so much. Is the archetypal symbol in occult lore, cross-like design. It alludes to the ancient esoteric tools meant to unlock divine or forbidden knowledge. Gabriel as an archetype. Gabriel, the entity's human liaison embodies like the harbinger of doom, and it's like supposed to be like the messenger of God. So basically, they're saying like the AI is now a god essentially, and that this guy is like his emissary to do whatever. And he kills this guy.
Of course, ChatGPT would call the AI the God.
Yeah, that's kind of like becoming God without God type of thing that was going on in the garden. That's what I'm saying.
What are we talking about?
Becoming God without God.
I want to go back to Pill Eater's chat about everyone's is the crow.
Actually, I'll turn on my camera right now.
No, don't do that. I like the waifu better.
Yeah, but I'm trying to stretch my camera to the settings where.
Yeah, but Neuro has 50 pages of notes prepared. That would be like a big insult to just pass that over for the crow.
All right.
Oh man.
Also, we're all icons, so like, read the room, dude.
Hold on a second. Hold on.
I was recently told to read the room because we were talking about politics, and apparently we're not allowed to talk about politics on YouTube anymore. Is it just me?
I think there's a lot of subjects that are kind of becoming off top, like out of bounds. But I mean, I really don't care. I'll go there.
Well, this was on one of those shitty Panelverse channels, and they were talking about the same old feminism they've been talking about for like the past year. And so I think we kind of derailed into like ethics versus morality, and they were like, no, you said the no words. Just stick to the crayon words.
Well, it was
What
a
do you
shitty
think
panel.
about that?
I mean, what do you expect?
Where's all the good panels at? Are we on it?
I think so. I think it's a good panel.
When Pill Eater's here, it's always a good time. What you been up to, Reddington? Are you still a lurker, or he's getting more involved lately?
I'm always a lurker.
Stop lurking, bro.
Can you hear me now?
I lurk right now.
It took me forever to realize that on StreamYard you can actually put the camera the opposite way instead of seeing my face, because I used to.
Oh, you can? Oh, I have to figure that one out.
You gotta go more settings.
Sarcastic?
No, not being sarcastic. I just figured this out. But yeah, but today's lesson. It's I get that a lot, but we have.
Reddington is being sarcastic, right?
No, none of us are sarcastic. We're deeply
Look, he
smart.
listens to audio cassette tapes. Obviously, he's a boomer.
So what?
Well, that's a part of the point, is that I got this in the mail today. It's Talk Spirit of Eden, Mark Hollis's controversial 1988 album. And the poetry is excellent. It's only 6 tracks, 42 minutes. Some of this poetry is top tier. Love it. But
can you guys hear me now? Okay, cool. Sorry, I don't know what happened. Like,
you're good, Nero.
My own thing kicked me out.
We can hear you now.
The AI kicked you out.
Don't you hate it when your own channel kicks you off?
Yeah, I didn't know. My new avatar is basically Luce from Owl House in a Japanese kimono. She's basically an Afro-Cuban gamer girl who thinks she's Japanese. So that goes with tonight's theme and the Asiatic Eurasianism that infiltrates the panel space. I thought it was very fitting. That. So yeah, waifu part is they make her lesbian in the show, but the target demographics is that all the white guys watching. It represents pretty much every single POC girl who has ever attended SVA. So it's quite ironic.
I'm a lesbian trapped in a man's body.
Yeah, it's most of us. We desire loose, but we're not allowed to be sincere about it. That's the irony.
I knew it.
Right.
Infidel.
Like if you literally like write Owl House into there, it's just a bunch of white guys fantasizing about how Luce is like totally perfect. And meanwhile, they're like, the liberal world's like, no, she's Afro-Cuban gamer and a lesbian. I'm like, yeah, like that's gonna happen. Yeah, thank job, liberals. So like we're actually gonna fall for that.
So I'm gonna finish these notes so we can
do the Mission Impossible thing.
Yeah, really quick. So the train scene represents like a journey through spiritual life, etc. Like the precarious path that people are on. The submarine and the source code. The submarine is lying at the bottom of the ocean. It evokes occult imagery of hidden knowledge buried underneath the conscious brain, essentially. And retrieving it is like going into a descent into the abyss. And this element suggests an underlying narrative framework involving the themes of hidden power, sacrifice, existential questions about control and destiny, and stuff like that. So then I asked it about the dragon's egg because it mentioned the dragon's egg, and if like a very quick thing. And so I was like, "What is that about?" And then it said, it says it's just kind of mentioned in passing, but in myth and occult tradition, dragons often symbolize like immense untamed power, secret knowledge. It implies that the potential for something extraordinary, potentially transformative or destructive. The egg as a creation symbol, and this reminds me of like there's like the Orphic egg or something with like a little serpent wrapped around it. That's what I thought of. But Orphic. You know what? Do you guys know about that? The Orphic egg or whatever.
Yeah, I know a little bit about it.
I don't know where it comes from.
It's like Gnostic, right?
As a decoration in someone's house.
Correct. Yep.
I am not aware of Orpheus's egg. That's the new one to me.
Yeah, you should definitely look it up. It's pretty important to the occult. And then it says it's the universal symbol of potential, rebirth, creation, stuff like that. And then let me see, guardianship and risk. It's also like protecting the egg and stuff like that. Occult literature. Let me see. Let's see if I got it. So it's like the dragon's egg. It refers to a radiological signature embedded in the buyer's key, which serves as a plot device to help Ethan Hunt and his team identify their target and a crucial mission. So I guess it's kind of weird because they have like a radiation tone to this stuff as well. And so again, I'm trying to figure out like what is all this. It's definitely like occult related. So
I think that the serpent's egg would kind of relate with maybe the serpent seed, right? And the serpent seed are those who reject God, or,
Yep. Okay.
So.
And then, and it may, and let me see. I have some more notes, but I think you're right because where I'm going with this is actually directly about that, and you'll see Ethan Hunt might be the embodiment of like Antichrist, essentially. So, which is Tom Cruise's character, by the way. So, so the cruciform key, which unlocks the potential of the AI, and it's like basically to seek dominance over. So like it's basically like about seeking dominance over chaos. So it's kind of like order and chaos essentially. So
deification.
Yes.
Like, you be like God, you good evil. But it's from disobedience rather than obedience, which was the natural way to become like God.
So I asked it about Crowley. I said, is there anything related to Crowley and this kind of stuff? And he said, well, the egg is often represented creation, transformation, and self-realization and hidden knowledge. And they said the cruciform key is like a cross-like shape of the key, which may connect to like esoteric practices of the OTO, like sacred geometry and symbolic tools as a part of their ritual. Do as thou wilt kind of resonates with the notion of Ethan Hunt's struggle against authority and preordained systems, including the entity's godlike control of the world.
That almost sounds like a Pythagorean idea, or however you say it. Like how they had a secret code to sort of enter into the initiation or something. I don't know.
Yeah. And then it says the entity as paralleling thelemic concepts. And it says Crowley's philosophy of thelema emphasized an individual's pursuit of true will amidst a chaotic, indifferent universe. And so the entity's role as an omnipotent AI reflects the idea of a cosmic force that challenges free will by creating illusion and manipulation, a theme Crowley explored through rituals aimed at transcending such control. And then it says connections to Scientology. Basically, they, L. Ron Hubbard and Crowley were good friends. And, and it says, okay, here's where it gets interesting.
L. Ron Hubbard's a scam artist.
Well, he was a very connected scam artist. But the entity
successful.
As a very successful, yeah. The entity as a reflection of Scientology's techno-spiritual themes, the AI's absolute control mirrors the Scientological control of suppressive forces and engrams, negative influences that limit an individual's spiritual potential. The movie's focus on liberation from such force aligns with Scientology's narrative of freeing oneself from external oppression. So I was just kind of curious, like, how do you think that lines up with, like, versus Christianity or something like that?
It completely opposes it. Have you heard of Clearwater, Florida?
Hey, machine is in the back.
Okay.
In the back.
Yeah. Oh, okay, good. Sorry,
all cults and scams oppose Christianity.
So I have 6 people in the studio, and I can't leave everybody up on. No. Just, so hold on one second. Red, if you don't mind, I'll leave you in the back for now, and then
dinner should be getting here soon, hopefully. So I'll be going AFK anyway.
Yeah, but I'll just leave in the back, and if you want to say something, just text me and then I'll jump out because I only got like 30 minutes left, and I'll try to get through this really quick. But I know Machine will have something to say on the Crowley stuff or something, so I'll let him jump in. I'll just put you in the back for now. But so hey, what's up, Machine?
Hey, fellas.
I don't know how
the police are coming for you. It's the fuzz.
The hot fuzz. Simon Pegg. You know what I'm saying?
Has Machine Lies heard of Clearwater, Florida?
No, I don't think so.
It's a city the Scientologists took over.
Oh, really? That's interesting. I have a friend who lived and worked in that area, and he didn't mention that to me, but it's interesting. I should ask him about that sometime.
But yeah, they were pretty successful. They're so successful, they're taking over an entire city. So eventually they may start taking over like counties and shit.
Well, I think they already took over the government, but that's another story.
Probably. If they were real pros, they would be like Mormons and just take over an entire state and then start, wiping out the country one state at a time.
Yes. Machine, did you hear any of the stuff I said or about Mission Impossible storyline or anything?
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah.
I'll give you a very brief overview to catch you up. So basically, it's like there's an AI, and they have to get like a cross-shaped key to unlock it, and it's like an omnipotent thing. It's like infecting everything, and then they have to like use the dragon's egg technology to figure out who has the other part of the key, and they go on the Orient Express at the end of the movie trying to get the other part of the key and then go unlock the whatever. And I kind of asked ChatGPT about all the like occult themes, and it started saying like the dragon's egg and Crowley and stuff like that. So that's kind of what we're talking about.
Yeah, the Orphic egg was mentioned. The Orient Express was mentioned. And then there was something else with regard to Crowley and L. Ron Hubbard. I don't know if it was just because of the relationship with Tom Cruise being in it or not.
Well, I ask it about those things because, and it said that like Ethan Hunt's character kind of like embodies like do as thou wilt against the AI God, but then it said also like it could be like a cosmic force. Like the entity's role as an omnipotent AI reflects like the idea of the cosmic force that challenges free will by creating illusion and manipulation, a theme proudly explored through rituals aimed at transcending such control. And yeah, and basically they said it could also, so this is the part that I specifically wanted Machine to hear. It says the entity as a reflection of Scientology's techno-spiritual themes. The AI's absolute control of the control mirrors the Scientological concept of suppressive forces, engrams, negative influences that limit an individual's spiritual potential. The movie's focus on liberation from such force aligns with Scientology's narratives of freeing oneself from external oppression. And then you have like, then it says the key is a mystical tool. And they said that in like some of Crowley's stuff, they have like symbolic objects representing access to hidden realms of knowledge. The key in the movie operates as a similar tool to like unlock knowledge. And then it says Ethan's journey mirrors like allegorical struggle for enlightenment marked by sacrifice and pursuit of transcendent goals. And like they have like two women and one has to be sacrificed. And it's like, so that kind of reminds me of like, they have like, you know, it's like now the Jesus like savior is like a woman. So it's like he had to pick between one dying over the other or whatever. And so I thought that was kind of weird too.
It's like a Sophism type idea there. It's just a counterfeit spirituality, it seems like, on both sides. And it's offering like a demonic spirituality to combat an already counterfeit spirituality. So I don't know.
Right. And then I asked it about the process church. It said the dichotomy of good and evil symbolized by its worship of four entities: Jehovah, Lucifer, Satan, and Christ. These oppositions reflect a view of the universe balanced by conflicting forces, similar to the themes on and control and influence. And it said, let's see, occult mysticism.
I mean, that's straight out of the process church, right?
Yeah, and they said like portraying Satan and Christ as reconciling forces rather than pure opposites. So I guess Hegelian dialectical stuff, essentially, or something. I don't know.
There's dualism.
Yeah, well, it actually later on somewhere in here gets into dualism. Yeah, here it is, right here. It says the entity as a godlike force, the AI. It mirrors the process church omnipotent forces dictating human outcomes, and then duality and conflict. So the dichotomy. Let's see. Oh, sorry, here it is. So Lucifer versus Jehovah, or Christ versus Satan, resonate with Ethan Hunt's moral challenges in The Thing as he battles agents.
Right. So they're looking at these things like archetypes, and they're blurring the line of morality by sort of
they're appropriating it, right? They're appropriating the different quote unquote archetypes that they ascribe to the story, and then they appropriate it. They take it and make it their own.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And yeah, and I think also, and I asked it about like Discordianism and like chaos magic, and it said like, you know, it's kind of like the entity kind of operates as an unpredictable force, manipulating events and characters in a way that mirror the embrace of chaos central to Discordian philosophy. And it's kind of like about dismantling systems of control. And again, this kind of just reminds me of like the Luigi guy who's like talking about utilitarian versus, you know, virtue ethics and stuff like that. And so like now he's going and taking matters into his own hands and stuff like that. So I think that's kind of an interesting like example of kind of where the thinking goes, because he's like trying to biohack himself. He's like, I need to be like super healthy, and like the healthcare system's evil, and allopathic medicine is bad. And it is very similar to like what RFK Jr. and guys like that are talking about. So like, again, like it's just kind of interesting. Like you kind of see that, like, I'm not saying that like anyone who's against allopathic stuff is like, a bad person. I definitely don't like allopathic medicine in a lot of ways. I'm just saying that like it's interesting that you notice the same themes in Scientology and Crowleyan and all this stuff is like kind of all merging into the public consciousness, via some interesting ways, I guess.
I think that there's a means between the extremes there, but he took it to its like the very extreme of the idea, and you're always going to end up wrong in that way. It's just an excuse to be a beast, kind of. You're using, it's a smokescreen. You're like using the faults of whatever you're finger pointing at to justify your own beastly acts or something.
Well, you reminded me of one of my favorite lines from a Avenged Sevenfold song, which I never get to talk about. So here we go, guys. That song, Backcountry, is like, he who makes the beast out of himself gets rid of the pain of being a man. And I think that that's like a very satanic fucking perspective in a way, because it's like, don't be a man and go through the pain. Just be a beast and you won't have to feel anything, guys. Like, it's a very interesting introduction to a song in a way. It's like
it's disassociative, really. It's not dealing with the problem. And I think again that as all the themes seem to be touching on this becoming God without God, but that's a delusion. You can't get structure and sanctity out of disobedience, and the ends don't justify the means, and actions do have consequences. So.
Well, not according to these guys. They saying that you got to be and it's kind of weird because like I do see like the temptation in Christianity too is like be the man of action and God blesses those who help himself, or you know what I mean? Like there's these kind of themes that have kind of like seeped into Christianity, and like I can kind of see like how easy it is, even from a Christian perspective, to kind of like justify certain ends and certain means and stuff like this, and again, it's like it's just interesting. Like everywhere you look at all the religions, everything has kind of become very similar to like this ideology, essentially. Like,
why is that? Why is this like reoccurring pattern happening? It's almost like an outpouring of an unholy spirit or something.
Well, and again, it's like even atheism or even non-religious people, which I think is probably getting close to the majority of people on Earth in some sense or another. I mean, I think even most Christians that I've known are kind of have more of a secular religion than they do a Christian religion. It seems like they're just taking their secular religion and applying a sticker of Christianity over it. And I'm just speaking from that perspective because that's what I know. But I'm just saying, like, I think that's kind of the situation with everyone. And so I don't know. To me, it's like you see this like movie and it like hits all these themes of like you said, like dualism in particular is like something I think is interesting because like you kind of sympathize with someone like Ethan Hunt, who's like he's trying to stop something from hurting humanity, right? And I think it's kind of weird, like everybody here, we're interested in technology and like how do you stop the forces of nature from imploding in on man or something, like, and then how does man stop its own creation from destroying that which he created, essentially? And it's like, it's a very weird conundrum in a weird way because it seems that he's the good guy trying to stop the technology, but is he really? And
well, that's how that's what they frame it, and it's to get the audience to buy into the idea, to put themselves and sympathize with this this Gnostic beastly idea, and it's programming, definitely.
Well, like,
because
go ahead.
People in the 50s wouldn't think like that. You show the people in the 50s or 40s a video like that, they'd be like, this is ridiculous.
They couldn't digest it. But I think it's aimed at children, really, because we're all old news now. We're not the young ones anymore. So
I don't know about you, I'm forever 21. I shop there for my dresses all the time.
Also, maybe most of the Christians you know aren't Christians. That would be my first guess. Secondly, what's the conflict between nature and Christianity? I missed that part.
Well, I mean, I don't know if there's a direct conflict, but what I mean is like, so God made man, man makes technology, technology kills man. Like,
does it? What about the technology that saves lives?
Well, that's another argument, right?
What about the technology that helps spread the gospel?
See, here we go. Okay. Now we got
There's good and bad with it, but
you freaking troglodytes.
I think the major issue though is that we're viewing, yes, we've gone in this direction with it, but it never was supposed to go in this direction. We're already in this kind of fallen world doing these things. So
what direction did you have in mind?
Well, I mean, it's not the direction I had in mind. That's the reason why it's wrong, because everybody has their own direction in mind, you know?
You said it wasn't supposed to go in this direction. What is this direction?
This direction is separation from God, to become God without God. That's where technology's at, which was what we were sold, what Adam and Eve were sold in the beginning, to become God without him.
All technology, like, do you have like internet in mind, like computers? Like, what are you talking about? Which
I'm saying technology in itself isn't evil, right? But
that's the theory.
The fact that it is a creation of a fallen world, it's always missing the mark in some way.
I don't think it was created without nefarious purpose in mind, and if a tool is imbued the qualities of the maker, then what do you say about it? I mean technology in the sense of like what you were talking about, the internet and all that.
Why draw the line there?
Man following the ways of God. It's not like man didn't come up with a computer following the ways of God, did he? Think about that.
Why not? Why can't a Christian use a computer?
I'm not saying that a Christian can't use a computer. I'm saying in the creation process, was a man focused on God in that creation, or was he focused on how it could benefit him in this material
realm?
All
technology theoretically benefits us. That's why we create it.
We don't create shit.
So you think that
we don't create any, like, which one of us here has invented any technology? Like, that's
I've invented all kinds of shit.
Messed up.
I've invented a channel in which the robots do all the heavy lifting. They produce all my content for me.
But even the tone's nihilistic. You know what I mean? It's like, what is it really doing for you?
By the way, Unseen Warfare, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Machine Lies, but what Annapurna was touching on, some people do believe that technology is inherently evil, so just FYI.
It's an elephant in the room.
Yeah, Machine Lies over there is like, oh, you guys, wait till I get my turn. Get him, Machine Lies, get him.
I kind of do too. I kind of do too in a way, you know what I mean? Like,
I'm on your team, Unseen Warfare. I don't think technology is inherently evil. I think it can be used for evil. I think there's some arguments that a lot of technology is doing a lot of evil, but that doesn't mean it's inherently evil.
Lol, Neuro.
Right. So I think that, okay, just like with an axe, like you can use an axe to like go out
chop wood or
chop wood for your family, but then there's axe murderers. So I mean, it's how the person used the tool, you know.
Exactly. So if you use computer for good stuff, then why is it inherently evil?
Well, I think the inherent evil factor is how it was created. So if it without the electromagnetic light spectrum, it wouldn't be made. And you didn't get that unless the Jesuits studied the Kabbalah, which is a Gnostic, system. So in that way, it was created out of evil and, an evil practice, sorcery, So
I don't know what you mean by how it was created. Like all technology was just created through,
I'm saying
creativity
that
from
they
man.
use the electromagnetic light spectrum that was
Science? Yeah,
discovered
we
from.
use science and technology all the time. Is science inherently
It's not
evil?
just science. It's not just science, though. It was specifically something that they discovered in the Kabbalah. You get what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, what
I
is
don't.
science?
I'm
That's
not
the
aware
root
of the
question
Kabbalah
to it.
being the breakthrough gateway for inventions and technologies. I'm totally not aware of this idea.
You got to look it up. It was French Jesuits that discovered it.
If a bunch of devil worshippers invented solar panels, would that make solar panels inherently evil?
Solar panels pollute the crap out of the places that they're extracted from, like the minerals and
I'm
stuff.
just trying to figure out where the inherent evil comes from in technology.
What that it rapes nature for its existence. Like you have to break apart the natural component and reorder it,
So are
reframe
like
some kind
oil
of way.
generators more holy? Like which one's better?
What are you talking about?
Most power facilities are powered off of crude oil or natural gas, stuff like that, or coal. Is coal more holy than solar
We
panels?
only need these things because we're in a fallen world. At one time, we were in
Very true.
paradise. So it's like we only.
So
we
electricity
only,
is evil, or what are y'all getting at? I'm totally missing the
Yeah,
point.
This wasn't needed.
electricity is bad for your body. Just like having electricity coursing through cables above your residence is bad for you. That's not that's an objective truth.
I'm
But
not a
I can.
medical doctor, but I'm pretty sure if I take all the electricity out of your body right now, you would die.
I think that
That's
God
not
can
the
take
same
something.
thing. That
That's exactly the
electricity
same
is
thing.
not
That's what
the same.
electricity is.
Electricity and not in the body is not the same
It's
as
exactly the
electric
same.
cables emitting radiation that harm your body, that harm your cells.
Exactly
So,
the
don't
same.
equate those two. That's not the same.
Well,
There's
and
different
it was also created for
frequencies and
somebody's
power, but
individual
it's
gain
the same
too. Like
electricity.
it wasn't like
That's
somebody
true.
created a computer to help mankind. I mean, they might have sold the product in that way, but it was for individual gain, And I'm not saying that individual gain in itself
Well,
is
the internet
horrible,
was
but
created by the military and used for 20 to 30 years before it was released to us, is what they say.
right, I'm sure that's true.
By
So
the
then
way,
what
if
is there
you
to say about that? And
by the
Thomas Edison, what did he do to get a combustion-based electric model rolled out in the U.S.
he
as
mostly
opposed to?
stole other people's inventions, but
But
let's blame Tesla
God
for
can take
electricity.
something evil and use it for good purposes. He can use it for his purposes. So I'm not saying that just because it was created for evil that God can't do good with it, or that followers of God can.
So why is
So
it
yeah.
not just a tool like any other tool, like a hammer or a screwdriver?
Well, because a hammer and a screwdriver weren't created through Kabbalistic ideologies.
Okay. Well, I guess there is the old ethical question of like if you derive technology through evil shit, is it still good? Like when they were doing genetic testing on humans and stuff during World War II or whatever. And so
I don't think it should be looked at as a strictly is it good or is it evil, like a black and white type thing.
no, I mean it's
There's
an ethical question. Like if you have to kill humans in order to advance certain technology, is it worth that technological gain? I understand that dilemma, but I don't think that's what we're talking about here. So just making sure we're not going
Yeah,
down
even
that
though
rabbit
people
hole.
did die.
Yep. And lots of people died all throughout history inventing hammers and screwdrivers and electricity.
You think they died making hammers?
Oh
That's
yeah.
stupid. That's stupid. That's a stupid. It's not
Sometimes a
effective and it's
man
not
would pick up
backed
a
up by
hammer and
Sounds absurd.
take a hammer to his neighbor's head, and then that neighbor died, and so they found out
Yeah,
that
but that
hammers
wasn't
are
the
lethal.
invention of the hammer.
Yeah, but what?
All right. We've been watching too much 2001 Space Odyssey, looks like.
There's a bunch of monkeys in this room, so be careful.
Wait, say that again?
Hairless monkeys. Well, not
So do you
everyone
think
believes in creation, so it depends on who you ask.
do you believe in Darwin, the evolutionary theory?
I believe that living organisms adapt to their environment, including through evolutionary processes, which are random mutations in the genetic sequence, which gives rise to sometimes new subspecies. I don't believe that God created Chihuahuas and Great Danes on the ark. I think they were wolves. And then we evolved them out of wolves.
I mean, adaptation is sure, you know.
But her
I
atheists
I
don't
don't
like
think
to
we could
use the word
disagree with that
adaptation
we
because it
experienced
sounds
that.
like it nullifies the word evolution when they're one and the same.
But I don't know if adaptation is the right word sometimes because
It's
it almost feels.
micro evolution is another word for adaptation.
I don't know. I don't buy that either. I don't.
The debate is
But I've
between
read a book on
macro
this
evolution and micro evolution. So, but her atheists believe that, rocks evolve into fish and fish evolve into monkeys and monkeys shedded hair and became man, which is macro evolution.
Mm-hmm. A
Even
primordial
most
soup idea or something.
Even most Kool-Aid drinking young Earth creationists are okay with microevolution because some of them believe that wolves were created by man. Not wolves. Chihuahuas and Great Danes were created by man out of wolves through evolution.
What? How could man create a species, though? Really, you know what I mean? It's not that man
You select
created
what
it.
what traits you want. So, like, if you want like short noses and small arms and small legs, and then
But
you can just
creation
kill
is
all the
something
other
that's come out
offspring.
of nothing, and like you're bringing it into life. That's what the type of creation
Yeah,
God did. So it's not a true creation, I don't think.
Yeah, it's the old bit, bring your old dirt. Yeah. So again, all creationists are on the same team. So most creationists don't know what they believe. So especially the young Earth variety, but the old Earth cater too much to butthurt atheists, and they'll go right back into creating something out of nothing. And they're okay with that. But that's where I don't have that much faith. I'm a Middle Earth creationist, so I don't think either side has a valid argument. I was hoping Pill Eater and Reddington were going to jump in at some point since I already kind of know the religious people's view. Pill Eater, Reddington, are you still with us? They're gone. So Machine Lies, are you young Earth or old Earth creationist? I can't remember.
You know, a good book. I don't know. Everybody's being quiet.
Nobody's here. It's you and me. Warfare. Everyone else left.
I guess. I'm here. I just. Just
there he is.
What I would say to that.
Old Earth is like billions of years. Young Earth is like about 6,000 years.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I definitely don't think that the Big Bang story is correct. Right. So.
Right, but how old do you think the Earth is approximately?
I mean, I wouldn't wager to go beyond what we can detect through historical records. So I wouldn't go. I don't think there's any reason to go back before 6,000 years or so.
Do you include geology in your historical records?
No, I don't ponder geology.
Oh,
just human history. Yeah, just human history.
That creates a problem then because
I wouldn't say 6,000 years, but let's just say I wouldn't say billions of years.
That's roughly how reliable human history is. That's why they picked that number, by the way.
What do you mean?
Young Earth creationists said that they think the Earth can't be older than 6,000 years because as much human reliable history we have goes back about 6,000 years, 6 to 10,000 years roughly.
Yeah, I mean, Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I believe the entire story of Galileo and all that type of stuff. I have no reason to believe any of that. So
I
the
got
fact that
something on carbon dating here if you guys want to hear this. Carbon dating is only used on organic substances. The half-life of carbon-14 is 5,700 years. So obviously this method can't go back too far. Some people think you can go back 2,000 years or more with it, but this involves so much guesswork that it cannot be accurate. Even people who defend it say that it's fairly reliable back to about 3,000 years ago. But if it goes back further, then it gets more and more unreliable. The system is based on a whole set of assumptions. According to scientists, the most reliable dating system is not radiocarbon, but tree ring dating, dendrochronology. They were recently able to test a whole series of things comparing radiocarbon dates with tree ring dates, and they found out that the radiocarbon dating method was off more than they thought. The tree ring counts have tended to give great ages by several centuries in the radiocarbon dating. Other metric dating methods are used to get older age, millions and billions of years. The potassium argon method, etc. There are all kinds of assumptions involved in these methods. You have to accept these assumptions before the system works. End quote. Um, yeah, that's interesting. So a lot of these
Yeah,
ideas are built on assumptions.
the old Earth creationists, or just old Earth camp, don't really use carbon dating anymore, because we also noticed that there was major foul ups whenever like salt water gets involved, and so that
but
completely
like
screws
that's
up.
it's a major false dichotomy, right? Because like one is based on human history and the other is based on faking gay space theory. So
Right, but they don't
neither are
appeal to
reliable.
carbon dating anymore, was my point. They use more like other radiometric dating, like half lives of, like, I don't know, xenon or argon in the Earth's crust and jazz like that.
I personally, I trust the text. Like it's like
You said it. You don't know. You don't know. That's it. You don't know. It's just mumbo jumbo, smoke and mirror, razzle dazzle. And there's heck no way in hell I'm getting into any one of these labs or even holding an argon gas in my hand in a canister. Like, there's no objective way to verify any of this.
I agree. I agree. And I think that we have to be more trusting with the ancient text than we are. It's kind of like these are people just like us, and we think that we're so smart that everything they say is unreliable or something. I think there's a lot of reliability in the Chinese texts, the Hebrew texts, the Hindu texts. All these texts are saying something, and those datings are probably closer to the truth than what we're going to find with these radio like carbon dating and scholars. So
Well,
sorry.
anyways, I think Reddington is the only non-religious person on panel, and I don't know if he believes in old Earth or not, but he doesn't feel like chiming in about it. So I think we're all pretty much in roughly the same camp.
I'm converting Reddington slowly.
Reddington, how old is the Earth? This panel's jumping, I tell you what, man. Well, anyways, we already had religious debate, so I don't think we need to get into that again. My only,
Bet you
I guess,
lost.
you wish. So, what was I gonna say? I already forgot. Well, you won that round. Anyway, oh yeah, I was gonna say I only had a couple of parting thoughts on the culture war that's ongoing. It's weird that they're just stuck in the same rut, of the feminism bullshit and the left wing propaganda that they just keep harping up every time they try to pretend like it's a new topic, but it's the same old bullshit they've been arguing for over a year now. I find it weird that, like, they don't ever evolve or grow past it or anything. Like they don't feel like any progress has been made in as far as human knowledge or whatever. So I thought that part was kind of interesting, but it actually kind of reminds me of the old atheist believer argument days.
Wait,
Speaking.
so I don't understand your. It feels like sometimes you like to cover a lot of bases. You know what I mean? Like,
did you want to keep
you're for
talking about the
progress,
age
but
of the
you're a
earth?
Christian. Like, what is it? Which one is it? You know.
I'm a Christian. I'm a Middle Earth creationist. I don't think either side of the debate has any valid points to bring to the table.
Here's something. The man acknowledged as the father of the Big Bang cosmogony was Abby George Lamerche, 1894 through 1966. He was a Jesuit priest. One day in 1931, while reading an article on the origin and the end of the world, he came up with the idea that the universe exploded and then evolved out of a primal primal primeval atom. I guess that's what that's
primordial.
A contemporary. It says Primeval.
Primeval.
Right. Okay. So, a contemporary of his fellow Jesuit, Teilhard de Chardin, he tried to do for astronomy what Teilhard had done for biology, create a synthesis of Christianity and the evolutionary worldview of modern science. His primeval atom.
Yeah, I covered this on the show there. You know, essentially, they're just combining Aquinas, which Aquinas is just combining Aristotle with Christian metaphysics at the time, right? So all this idea of the primordial atom or whatever, it just comes from Aristotle, right? Because he said that the universe was made of basically primordial substance that was formed by God. So it already existed, right? So,
well, that's already off.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's
because
always a
that's
screwy
why
business to try to scientifically analyze miraculous events. So
yeah, that's why Einstein he thought that the universe was eternal. This is a true story.
there's no
Einstein
evidence of
said that.
But yeah, that was one of the
Yeah.
old butthurt atheist theories, was that it's like
Yeah.
this series of contractions and expansions that go on forever, but it's always been here, and there's no
Yeah.
evidence of that. But they
Yeah,
have
and
the faith to believe that.
yeah, and really it comes from Aquinas, Maimonides and Avicenna. Avicenna said basically, he came up with the argument from contingency, the cosmological argument, and essentially it just states that the causal being, like the necessary being, that exists. It's called the necessary existent. It's an entire category of existence that he said that only God belongs in. Right? Essentially, this necessary existent, it could have been just the universe itself. So he wasn't trying to use it to prove God. He said it doesn't necessarily prove God.
Also,
Right?
if the universe is eternal, what causes action in it? Why isn't it at permanent equilibrium and not moving in any direction?
Well, they did believe it was in permanent equilibrium because of the laws of thermodynamics. But yeah, so
right. So there would be a preceding event that caused that action. So then it's not eternal. So.
Have you guys ever read Genesis, Creation, and Early Man?
No.
By Father Seraphim Rose.
Also, welcome Joel, Pro Lurker.
This book is so good, dude. It's so good. Let me read something right here. It says, nowadays, atheist philosophers like to say that the relative size of the Earth proves man is but a speck lost in the universe. They say the Earth is so small, the universe is so big. So obviously the universe is more important than man, and God did not make everything for man. But if you think in terms of what the fathers say, that the sun was made after the earth had already been there, then it is clear that everything was made for man. Student, in our galaxy there are so many other suns. Do the Holy Father say anything about those suns? Father Seraphim, no. because they knew less about the composition of the universe than we know now, and there is simply no practical reason to speak about them except to say that they are there and God created them. The only place we know man lives is right here. Student, is there any conflict between the Orthodox understanding of creation of the world and the fact that there's more than one sun? No, because there's only one sun for us. But I mean, it's just like questions that people have, you know. And the student has, and he goes in detail about sort of the creation of the world from a patristic perspective, but he also gives the atheist arguments as they are too. It's pretty interesting.
The atheists have no argument. Their latest grasping at straws is panspermia and like aliens creating shit, which then begs the question of who created the aliens and what caused the Big Bang and all that. They can't answer any of the questions, so there's really no.
Do they know
left.
that the Big Bang, like the whole thought, came from a Jesuit? I mean, I get what you're saying, machine, but you get what I mean.
I'm I-Fi. That wasn't machine.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying he said something about,
okay,
the idea is older. It had really, this.
The current most reliable theory is that there was a Big Bang that preceded the creation of the universe, which is easily explained by God. But the butthurt atheists, all they have is like self-correcting math equations, but they also claim an eternal universe, which would not give rise to a Big Bang, and so they have to explain either why everything's not in equilibrium and what caused the first event and all that sort of stuff, which they can't. So that's why I said there really is no debate anymore. They tried debating a long time ago when they thought they were smart, but not anymore.
No, I agree. I don't think there's really a debate there. They try to make it one, but
they don't even have any credible theory to argue against. Like I said, panspermia or whatever, and abiogenesis and stuff like that is not even a serious scientific debate. It's just a sad religion. Hi, Joel.
What I've noticed is there's just a lot of presuppositions that go into those ideas. Like
totally. Plus a lot of Kool-Aid drinking you have to do to even get on board with that type of thinking. So I've already got one religion. I don't need any more religions. I'm good. I can't tell if Joel's like trying to say something. You're muted, by the way, Joel. I don't know if you're trying to talk or not. We haven't heard from you yet. So
he is not trying to talk, dude.
Oh, okay.
Joel, you're the Hunchback of Notre Dame, bro.
He's the pro lurker. I thought Reddington was the pro lurker. How many lurkers we got?
That's the homie, though. He can lurk.
So the boring part of this argument, Warfare, is that even though most of us on panel believe in, divine creation, the problem then arises. Like, I'll just ask you real quick, Warfare. You believe that God created the universe, correct?
Yeah, I think he created everything.
Okay.
I mean, I kind of know.
Could he have created it last Thursday?
I mean, I don't really go to could haves. I mean,
is he physically capable of creating the universe?
I'm sure he's capable of doing everything, right?
Okay. So how can you disprove someone who claims that God created the universe last Thursday?
I don't know. I don't really understand the question, of being honest with you.
It's sort of the absurdity of trying to like scientifically approach a miraculous discussion about the creation of the universe. So again, the butthurt atheists are trying to figure out how to, through scientism and physicalism, explain the origin of our universe. Whereas if most religious people kick the can over to God and say God did it, and so it sounds lazy, but if it's the right answer, then we're done with the argument. There's nothing more for us to argue or prove. Now, the butthurt atheists will say, well, you're dumb and you don't understand science, and then we have to explain to them, how eternal universes don't have big bangs and stuff like that, or self-causing events or anything like that. And so that's where they get into all kinds of kooky religions about, you know, self-correcting math equations and yada yada yada.
They get stuck on the fingerprints or like the footprint of God, you know, and think that somehow disproves him. It's like, no, this is how he structured things. You know what I mean? It's
so even if you use like all of, you know, reasonable philosophy of using science to determine roughly how old the universe is, it at least appears to be, you know, pretty old. Like if not hundreds of thousands, millions, maybe even billions. So the beauty of the Middle Earth creationists is we don't care at all. Like if tomorrow we found out for 100% sure that the universe is 4 billion years old, we would have zero problem with that at all, because again, we know God created the universe. We don't know when he created it or how he created it. And so we don't sit there and bicker and argue with people about the details, like, oh, it has to be 6,000 years or God doesn't exist or something like that. And that's the mistake the young earth creationists make. They base their entire religion on the scientific claim that they know for scientific fact that the universe is only 6,000 years old. And so if you, in the future you were to find credible scientific evidence like in geology and cosmology and stuff like that, that there are older things, then all of a sudden their religion is void. And so that's what the butthurt atheists are trying to attack.
Is the young earth creation, is that God created a young earth?
Young earth creationism are the group of mostly Christians, that religious people that believe that the divine created the universe exactly 6,000 years ago, not approximately, exactly 6,000 years ago. They can even give you like months and days and hours. They know exactly what hour the universe was created. It was like 4 a.m. on a Tuesday, January 23rd in the year 6000 BC or something like that. Or no, it'd be like 4000 BC at this point. But anyways, so those are the people.
I finish this book before I really know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, those are the people that the old neo-atheists used to debate online, like Sam Harris and Christopher Hitchens and Richard Dawkins and all those kinds of people, because they were constant.
Are orthodox young earth creationists. Like I think they're out there.
Yeah,
and they probably have good arguments.
It's not just one sect that has it. There's, you know, young earth creationist Baptists, there's young earth creationist Catholics, you know, it's not like one Christian group. It's like it's not even Christians. There's Muslims, there's Hindus, there's all kinds of different religions that also coincide with the belief that they know for scientific fact the universe is 6,000 years old or whatever. And that's why they're called young earth creationists. And that's the debate between the young earth creationists and the old earth creationists. And so there's a lot of old earth creationists that their default answer is that they know for scientific fact that the universe is like 4 billion years old, and the earth is, you know, 2 billion years old, or whatever the numbers are. I haven't checked lately. They always change their answer. But anyways, they have their own set of beliefs. And so those are the people that are angrily debating this topic, which, like I said, is pretty sad when you listen to them, because neither side knows.
I think that a lot of times that's missing the point, you know.
That you know, God created the universe, and we don't know how or when he did it. So get over it and move on.
Yeah, it's sort of, you know, the wisdom of the world is foolishness to God, you know.
I do slightly agree with some sentiments that were shared on the panel earlier about how we can't trust science and there is no objective answer, because we can trust science and there are objective answers. We just haven't found them yet. But, you know, if we do find them, then kudos to us. But, you know, I wouldn't say that it's impossible for us to ever discover, you know, the facts and truths about stuff like that. But personally, I don't think it's that important, but, you know.
I don't think sometimes I think people try to force this like science versus Christianity type thing, and it's like,
of course,
that's unnecessary. But it's because atheists tend to take science and call it science, but it's really, you know, their philosophy, and they're labeling it science so it can't be, you know, disproven. It's like a debate tactic or something.
It's a very crappy debate tactic in which they try to sound like they own logic and reason, and all religious people are dumb and don't understand science, and they are smarter than us. So that's their point. That's the only reason why they argue these things.
I mean, I
And that's
agree
why they
with
have
them.
spokespeople like Bill Nye and Black Science Man to keep on the propaganda tours to make sure that neo-atheism is the smart group and the religious people are the dumb people.
I mean, I agree with them when it comes to you, but other than that, you know.
You didn't even know what a young Earth creationist is, so you're so dumb you don't even know what the topic is.
I mean, I kind of did. I mean, I didn't know like every detail. I mean, I've heard of it, of course.
Name one thing that I've said that is wrong.
I don't know.
And I'm the dumb one. Gotcha. Word. Well, Joel or Reddington, if y'all don't want a piece of this, I'm going to probably head on out because I think the other cats on here are familiar with my shtick, so.
I'll take that for a win.
Yeah, you got me again, Warfare. One of these days, you're going to convince me you're a Christian, and then I'll debate you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know. That's Keep trying, dude. Work hard. Study.
Maybe you'll learn by accident. Baptism from happening or something, dude.
All right. Oh, Reddington's just now back. That's why he wasn't answering.
How am I still on here?
I don't know, dude. You AFK'd forever.
Well, whatever. I told him that the food arrived.
Was it good?
Oh yeah.
So we were talking about how old the universe is, but we can move on to another topic if you want.
It's up to you guys. It don't matter to me.
I don't give a shit. I think they're both retarded. I'm a Middle Earth creationist, so I'll wait until they tire each other out and then see if there's anything worth debating.
Well, you a hobbit?
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
There's one date to rule them all.
I guess I missed the technology stuff.
Oh yeah, we already blasted the troglodytes off the panel. That's why Machine Lies doesn't want to fight me anymore.
Lolz.
Also, Joel's the pro lurker at Reddington, so he took your job. So now you have to talk.
He definitely did. He says way less than I do.
Word.
If he says anything at all, actually, audibly.
What, Joel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw him on camera.
He's a smart dude too. That's what's crazy. Like, this dude should be talking.
Let's test that claim and see if it's true. Hey, Joel, are you smart?
Yeah. See, I told you, smart man.
I think he's pleading the fifth.
You know, silence is a virtue.
Silent but deadly.
Enjoy the silence.
What did you think of some of that stuff I sent you, Reddington? Seriously.
I think I didn't read the last two ones. Hold on a second.
Don't do it, Reddington. It's a trap.
Quiet Protestant.
By the way, Warfare, is Joel an ortho bro too, or is that why you kind of
don't call me that, man? If you knew how disrespectful that was to a true Orthodox Christian, you would never call me that, man. It's so awful.
What's so awful about it?
Because there are enemies, dude. There are enemies. There's World Orthodox, and then there's True Orthodox, right? And the World Orthodox are like modernist Orthodox. Oh, well, they call themselves Orthodox, and we're traditional. So, there's no based and bro type thing going on over here, man.
You sure about
different.
that?
Yeah, I'm positive about that. What do you mean?
So, what are your thoughts on the Crucible gang?
I think that I'll give him props for putting on Father Joseph Swayden, and that's about it.
Are they ortho bros or not? Are they not cool enough for your gang?
Well, like I said, they put on Father Joseph Swayden, so respect. And he like destroyed one of theirs, I guess, in a debate. So
Neat.
Yeah, I agree with that stuff, with the pharmakia and stuff, the witchcraft.
isn't that wild, man?
It's it all seems to tie together, whether whichever way you want to come from it, which angle you want to come from.
You know,
If you have if
go
you
ahead.
have ISIS, well, I guess I shouldn't quote that. If you're just have an open mind to not be a total normie.
You know, what I think is interesting, right, about the pharmakia topic is that a lot of people see the word sorcery in the scriptures and they think it's talking about, like witches or something. And it is to a certain degree, but they have this like kind of mythical interpretation of that. But really what it's talking about is straight drug dealers, dude. you know, like
Yeah.
it.
I'm the sun and the air. All the shyness that is criminally vulgar. I am son and heir of nothing in particular. You shut your mouth.